Donald Trump signed an executive order that now targets the homeless and really anybody with a mental health condition. Restoring civil commitment, making it easier for police officers, healthcare workers, like somebody in an ambulance, to be able to commit you. So, if you're talking to a police officer or you're talking to a mental health worker, do not tell them that you have any mental health issues unless you need help. Because if you tell them, for instance, you're bipolar, that could be a basis to have you committed. And you better believe Core Civic is going to be profiting off of civil commitments, just like they do with detainees and inmates. It's a money-making scheme, and it's also a scheme to target society's undesirables, according to Republican current MAGA theology. And if you've never been committed, it is a fucking horrible motherfucking process. Way worse than going to the penitentiary. I was committed once after an attempt. I got put in a medically induced coma, woke up, and they did something called the Annex.
Alright, giving all praises, honors, and glories unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Makakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that terminus truth that rule well. Shalom to the elect scattered through the four corners of the earth. My name is Kodash Payah. And as you just heard, you know, with the whole executive order being passed, you know, where Trump's new executive order could violate medical privacy rights, right? Raises fears among advocates for people, you know, that are homeless. And if you have some mental issues, and you know, it's a way to take away rights. And they talking about restoring order, which, you know, you got something called problem, reaction, solution, which that's how they're gonna bring in this new order of things, right? And then you had that shooting that happened, the man that had that rifle down in what was it, Midtown Manhattan, New York. And what did they say? He had mental health issues. So that's a way to, you know, bring out more cops, more law enforcement, like a police state, you know, imprison people, you know, and even you know, speaking out and about, you know, you can't be speaking out about the truth, you know, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, right? But we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Let's get a precept real quick. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 32, verse 7. The instruments also of the cherub are evil, an evil person, right? He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. So, you know, with these platforms and going out in the highways and the byways, you know, speaking about the lies and agendas, and, you know, that's why we tell people you can't trust these news outlets, you know. That's why people resort to alternative media, you know, because you got people like whistleblowers that bring out certain things, you know. And with this truth coming out, it's bringing down strongholds. And also you have this whole earthquake. They said it was an 8.8 earthquake causing a tsunami in you know, over there in the west, right? Where Hawaii or California, in that region. And you had volcanic eruption that happened, I think, in Indonesia. You had this strange major black cloud that went over the sun. And remember when Bill Gates was speaking about blocking out the sun. So you got also weather modifications that they use. You know, hey, the scriptures say the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, because that's also what they're trying. One of their agendas trying to bring out something called climate change, climate lockdowns rather. So people will flee. You know, they'll bring in certain national guards. They'll bring in FEMA, right? But really, we understand, you know, the bigger picture, how, you know, behind the scenes of things. You know, while people are just partying and drinking, and, you know, they think it's just natural, but it's, hey, man. So I said, you know, that's why the scriptures say to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speak it right. You know? So you can never trust our enemy. And if you don't know who the enemy is, how you know his tactics? You see? As a matter of fact, I want to get another one real quick. It's in Psalms. I believe it's in Psalms. Hold on. It's locked here. Psalms 55 and 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Man, his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So they'll tell you one thing, and you know, the politicians, you know, that the masses put their faith in, you know, they'll tell you what you want to hear. But in reality, they got a whole plan, you know, and that's why even Putin is rebuking, you know, the West, the government over here, and these other countries, you know. Those are the Edomites, that's, you know, these banking families, these elites, that, you know, which are the so-called Caucasians, but the ones that are on top right now, that's pulling the strings of these politicians and whatever, you know. Just look at, even in history, how, you know, they made treaties with our people, man, right, the natives, you know, and had them thinking something that it really wasn't. That's why, hey, man, that's why this man is a devil. Alright? Meaning what? Deceiver. You know? Because it deceiveth the whole world, as a matter of fact. You can get that. So I says, you know, watch and pray. Be not ignorant of anything small or great. You know? Revelation chapter 12 verse 9, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deviseth the whole world, which that shows you right there, that's two separate entities, the devil and Satan. So, you see? But it says, he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him, and that's talking about these elites, that old serpent, which was a man that deceived Adam and Eve. You know, going into Cain, going to Esau. You know, that's who they are. So we know, you know, through the scriptures, man, that all these things are prophecy. You know, that's why the elect, you know, that praying to the true name and believing in true doctrine, we understand these things. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. You know? And in the NLT it says we're not ignorant of his evil schemes. You see? Because people just hop on anything and believe in anything they hear and see. That's why you gotta also do your due diligence, man. You know? So, there's a lot going on right now. Just, you know, be not deceived. So with that, till next time, I'm gonna say shalom.